sure a lot of people up here are very frustrated that Biden isn't going to run here because of the DNC rule changes, right? He's going to run in South Carolina where there's not much happening at this point and that. But up here, people like to see the candidate. They really like to see them physically appear. And, I was struck by this. Ro Khanna, who we mentioned before, he was this main speaker at the labor breakfast in Manchester, New Hampshire on Labor Day, right? Got a great response and actually said some nice things about Biden. And I guess somebody from the Teamsters Union said something nice about Biden too. But by and large, Biden barely came up, right? At the labor breakfast, a year out from the election. That's not how you do this. Again, I'm being ridiculously practical here. I'm not talking about my values or my ideals or the things that I actually, where I think the party should be. I wrote a book about that and I'm glad to talk about it at length. What I'm talking about is just pure practical politics.
Strategy.
Yeah.
Well, that's why when you said that,
do the things that are popular.
When you said that like that reminds me of him so much. He's like, that's not how you do this. It's like, but this is what proves, I feel like, my point, which is they don't want to, not only don't they want to, they don't care. I also don't think they care if they lose. And for them, it's no skin off their back, really. They make money, win or lose, they win.
Let's play this clip really quick to give people an idea of exactly what they're coming at Joe with and how are they really going to respond to it, I think is the big question. Here we go.
Began to comply. No continuing resolutions, individual spending bills or bust, votes on balanced budgets and term limits, subpoenas for Hunter Biden and the members of the Biden family who've been grifting off of this country, and the impeachment for Joe Biden that he so richly deserves.
Is something going to happen or not this week? I'll give it to you first, Marjorie. Ladies first.
Well, I certainly hope so. And after watching those videos you showed of our president of the United States, maybe we should be calling for the 25th Amendment, not just impeachment inquiry.
Oh, it's always such a, you know what it is with her? It's like being right in the middle of a Mensa meeting with that one. I can't even contain myself.
The funny thing is, John, and you've been in the game for a long time. The one thing the Republicans always prove when it comes to the Democrats, anything you can do, I can do better. If you think that you can claim that the election was rigged in 2016, which they did, now we're going to do it even worse. And now that you've decided to impeach the former president twice, watch what we do. We'll come up with anything and we'll throw it and make it stick.
What are their charges of it? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, like their charges, as even Republicans, mainstream Republicans in Congress have said, is they haven't seen anything that rises, even to the ballpark of a high crime or misdemeanor. I wrote a book on impeachment. I have historically been a strong advocate for impeachment as a tool for presidential accountability. It's not about the individual. It's about the office. What do you allow the person who occupies the office to do, right?
Yeah.
And if you fail to hold occupiers of the office to account, then the next person who comes there basically says, well, I know I can do these things because they didn't hold them to account for that. So they never completed an impeachment of Richard Nixon for everything he did in Watergate, which, by the way, had a lot of campaign finance issues involved with, a lot of money issues there. They never impeached Reagan for Iran-Contra. They never impeached the Bushes for their illegal and immoral wars. They never impeached, I'm listing a lot of Republicans, but you can find things on Democrats in the past as well. And so you end up in a situation where we have diminished impeachment to such a level now, right, that it has become just a silly partisan tool. It's not the constitutional tool of accountability because we didn't use it in the right way when we should have done so.
Right.
And
many times.
Exactly. Many times, and for illegal and immoral wars that were not declared.
Yes.
And so we end up in a situation now where, impeachment is just it's a talking point. It's a way of saying, it's like a parent saying, I'm really serious about this. Right? It's not. There isn't a reality to it. But I think if you listen to Matt Gaetz there in that clip, that's an important thing. Because what he was talking about was something else altogether. He was talking about bringing government to a standstill, right? rendering government fully dysfunctional with, refusing to do continuing resolutions and things of that nature. Again, I'll go back to my point of suppose Joe Biden is reelected narrowly in 2024, but he has a Republican Senate and maybe even a Republican House. Not guaranteed, but let's suppose that happens. Is anything going to be better than it is now? No, it's going to be dramatically worse. It's going to be uglier. And Matt Gaetz will, I would argue, continue to rise in influence and power. Others like him do. And so you end up in a situation where, if the Democrats don't take seriously their responsibility to seek a governing majority, right, to seek the ability to actually govern, then they have the potential to really, put us on track, not maybe just something as bad as if Trump was president, but to something pretty bad. And then the question is, well, what do you do to win a governing majority? Well, maybe you do the things that 75% or 80% of Americans favor. Maybe you come out strong for unions. Maybe you come out strong for healthcare as a right. Maybe you come out strong for a transition of our economy that makes sure we have good jobs, but we don't burn the planet. Maybe you do a host of things that might actually energize a lot of disenfranchised and disenchanted voters. That's what Bernie Sanders tried to do as presidential candidate in 2016 and 2020. And what did he say? He said it was a political revolution. He wasn't, it was an argument that you do politics differently. I'm not here to suggest to you that the Democratic National Committee, as it's currently constituted, is going to launch a political revolution. But I would suggest to you that practical politics argues that they ought to be moving toward much more militant and much more controversial positions. Not controversial with you and me, but controversial with media. Take the hit.
With corporate America, it's only controversial with their corporate overlords.
Yeah, be attacked, but be willing to be attacked for being too pro-union. It's okay. So 3/4 of Americans are pro-union. Be willing to be attacked for saying that we want health care for all. Be willing to be attacked for saying that we want to end child poverty in America, and we want a majority in Congress that will allow us to do that. Run on those things. Run on something real. You know what would happen? We'd have all sorts of screaming and yelling about it, right? But we'd actually stop talking about Donald Trump for a couple days.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.